learned a lot of things. I've been to different communities. I've seen a lot of how other people get along, how other people interact, how other First Nations people work together, and they try to help each other, and they love each other, and they work in harmony together. And I mean, we as a group, we do that too, and I've heard everybody's concerns about Chief and Council. And you know, I do give them, the current Chief and Council, a lot of credit. It's not an easy job. You do have a lot that, you know, a lot of things that restrict us from making decisions, or whatever the reason may be. You know, in my journey with my company, Eagle Feather Aviation, like I said, I've learned a lot of different things, but mostly what I've learned over the past year is that I would be nothing without everybody in this room. I'm who I am because of you guys. You guys all made me. Evelyn helped me, everyone in this room, and I owe you all that, and that's why I'm standing before you today. I just want to give stuff back to you. I don't want anything from you. I have a slideshow to present to you today, and if you have any questions, just stop me at the end of each slide, okay? We'll get started. Welcome, Michipicoten First Nation members. Please enjoy my presentation, The World Through My Eyes. Other First Nations, oh, we can't really see that, eh? Oh, thank you, sir. Other First Nations are building their futures today. Building new homes on reserve, new recreational, long-term care facilities for the youth and elders in their communities. Other First Nations have created economic stability and are providing cash flow to their members through partnerships with private investors, and have created long-term income on reserve and off reserve for their members, and are reinvesting into their First Nation by providing personal cash distributions, services for education and health, on reserve jobs to their members, for their members. These First Nations are progressive and have diversified their nonprofit organizations to be self-sustainable. Thank you, Will. Thank you. So, and when I'm saying that, oh, I got to go to my slideshow. I'm just going to go out because I can't zoom in. But I wanted to show you a news article backing up what I'm saying to you. Can everyone read that, or should I zoom it in? Okay. Is that a little better, or it's too big? Other First Nations have established funding opportunities. Has anyone seen this? Has anyone read the Wawa News about this? You know, this was taken January the 22nd, 2015. So Shele Cree First Nation got $100,000 to work with energy experts to develop a regional renewable energy plan. Michipicoten Council received $457,000 over 3 years to implement its regional business organization project, allowing them to be effective partners in resource development and other emerging sectors. Mo-Quebec, I can't pronounce it, will receive $280,000 over 3 years to hire an economic development officer to broaden its economic base and identify new opportunities for growth. Fort Albany First Nation will be receiving $279,000 over 3 years to hire a youth economic development officer to create long-term plans to help young people find good jobs through community economic development and training. And this year is part of Ontario's Jobs and Prosperity Fund. Anybody know who that's from? It's called Northern Ontario Heritage Funding. And they provide funding for everybody. But you know what I don't see here? Does anybody see something missing? I don't see Michipicoten First Nation here. And that's why I'm here today, because I'm outraged that we have these opportunities and we're not on these. We're not even mentioned here. So that was just one of the things that got my attention. And you know, I started to think, how come we can't have this? Our brothers and sisters on every other First Nation have everything. And we have these things. We have the equipment, we have the tools, we have the land, we have the funding. Yes, sir.
So that's a question. I didn't know anything about this either because my brother gave about this.
Oh, there's a lot of funding opportunities available to us.
Yes, I wonder if I should take part in it.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry?
to invest in prosperity and something with the funds we have in land claims, why we're not in there.
I don't know why we're not in there. Like I said, I don't work at the band anymore. So I don't know. I've been away for a year, and I'm kind of asking some questions myself. You know, and I think it's something that we should all be made aware of. The funding is out there. So how come nobody's working on it? You know, and why can't we have what our other brothers and sisters have on Batchewana First Nation, at Chapel Cree First Nation,
Bingo.
Missinabie Cree. Batchewana has a bingo hall, they're getting a recreational center, an outdoor center. They're getting everything. Why can't we? We can too. They have the same opportunities as we do. They just have people filling out the funding applications. So, you know, we have the educated members with the experience that are more than capable of taking care of our First Nation and taking it to the next stage of development of our home that aren't being utilized. We must work together to achieve these final steps, to self-sustainable government, through fair, transparent decision-making by all members, through the community ratification of our First Nation governance, such as the election code, and the membership code, the administration code, the appeals and redress code, and the land claim code. If everyone agrees that they all want this, want progress, and want to grow our First Nation into an economic powerhouse. We too can develop a plan to invest in our futures. We too can have language classes. We can have traditional grassroots classes. We can have training and education. We can even have financial classes through the creation of bursaries and scholarships. We have tutors and seminars on the First Nation. We can have also services for youth, such as the Safe House. Batchewana First Nation has a Safe House. They have a place for people to go that are in need. We could have a recreational center, a food bank, winter clothing for kids, entice existing and create Aboriginal business and non-Aboriginal business on reserve. We can create our own MFN, Ministry of Natural Resources, and issue permits to mining and forestry companies. Everyone else is doing it for $25,000. Why aren't we? We can have partnerships with other First Nations to utilize our member skills and talents within other First Nation organizations when they are unemployed. We can't do that now. I mean, if you apply at Batchewana First Nation, they might hire you, but they prefer you to be a member. We have all the same funding opportunities and capabilities as every other First Nation except. Do we have enough self-sustainability businesses currently that could support our First Nation, that could support the band administration, as well as the expenses that are incurred by operational costs of the band office itself, like the electricity? We don't have solar panel, we don't have a wind farm, we don't have anything that can support all these rising costs, and the cost of electricity and energy are supposed to skyrocket once they put the new transmission line all the way from, I think it's Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay. It's going to be a $500 million project. So we're going to have to, the taxpayer's going to be picking up that tab. We're going to be paying for that. So if our band is sucking out all our expense money or paying everything out in expenses, what's it getting back to the members? You know? And could our corporate trust assist in any financial difficulties that the band may incur, if necessary? And here's another Walla News article that I pulled out because I just thought I wanted to back up what I'm saying to you and have some proof of I'm not kidding, or I'm not lying to you, but here's Richmont. Richmont Mines is, we have an MOU with them. I don't know if we've received anything in revenue sharing, but I know a lot of our members are working there. They've trained a lot of our members, and our members are happy there. You know, but they're making how much money? Does anybody see? The corporation issued a total of 9.6 million common shares. How come our First Nation doesn't have shares? That's another thing that we could get into. You know, once we establish businesses and once we start getting money back. You know, and this is, we're making all this money, but we're not getting it back. How come we aren't seeing anything? If that's how much they're making, other people are getting revenue sharing from mines in their territories to big percentages. And we do have agreements with the mining companies in our territory of the First Nation to acquire members, but what happens when the price of gold goes down, like Lawrence just said, or Lauren, I'm sorry. I mean, a couple of years ago when gold was at $400, everybody had shares in the mining industry was dead. And then it went to 2,200, January 2014. And then everybody had money. But you know what? That's not the reality of the mining companies. They're here today, they're gone later today. And Wawa is a victim of that, of how mining companies can shut a town down. That happens. You know, we have to start considering and thinking about when the mines start losing money and start closing or restructuring and laying off our members. As we've seen in many small communities in the past, we have never received any revenue sharing from mining, or have we, from the mining companies? I don't think we have received anything. Where do our laid off members go when they get laid off? You know, we could create something so that our members, we could have an agreement with, I don't know, Chapel Creek, phone them up and say, hey, are you looking for somebody that can drive a truck? Are you looking for somebody with these skills? So that we never have to go unemployed ever again. Have we created any partnerships within the now booming wood industry? And what do we do when INET cuts more of our services for education, foot care, diabetes services, and clinics and glasses? Here's another interesting, this is Horn Payne, who also received approximately $30 million. And this came out September 2013. So, Ontario again, NHFC, and federal most likely, they're helping to build a stronger, more diverse northern economy while supporting 160 jobs in Horn Payne. With the support of the Ontario government, the OLAV Havard Shrub Timber Company has opened the Becker cogeneration plant. This is a 10 megawatt facility. Will use sawmill wood byproducts to generate electricity for the provincial power grid and produce heat for the nearby sawmill and kiln operations. So this is supporting an innovative forestry industry as part of the government's growth plan for Northern Ontario. A strong northern economy will help create a fair society and give people of Ontario more opportunities for jobs and economic prosperity. So here's the quick facts.
Shele?
Yes?
I've seen on the other page there where you had that INAC is gonna mark this down, mark that down. What gives INAC the right to do that?
Well, INAC has to budget money for the whole country. So they give a little piece to Quebec, a little piece to Ontario, a little piece over there to BC. Everybody gets their fair share. But the thing is that the prices in oil are so low, the federal government lost $4.3 billion or $1 million. So $4.3 million, that gets taken out of the whole pot, right? And Ontario owes $325 million. That's the deficit. They have a $12 billion payout that's coming out in, I think, April, and they can't afford to pay it. So where's the money going to come from? We have to learn to work together. We have to learn to make money on our own. We have to learn that sooner or later, we will get our everything cut. We will. It's just a matter of time because everything is going up. The cost of hydro is going up, everything. The cost of food, you know, and when we saw the price of oil go down, it affected a lot of people. It took a lot of money out of Ontario that goes to services such as health, education. Like you look at the hospital here, they're starting to lay off, and there's going to be more layoffs coming. It was 30, last week? And then in May they're going to do it, and then they're going to do it again in June. So they lost $10 million last year. Everybody's going to have to take a hit. Because why? The federal government wants to pay down the deficit. So, and they don't care what's happening in the economy. They just want to make sure that it's paid. So we have to learn to do things on our own. And you know what? I think that we can. I think that we do have funding available to us, don't you? Like these guys just got, they got a conditional grant of $11 million through Forest Sector Prosperity Fund, $17.18 million loan guarantee through Forest Sector Loan Guarantee Program, and $1 million from Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. The $66 million cogeneration facility is next to existing lumber manufacturing facilities, creating 20 new jobs, saving 100 more at a nearby mill, and supporting an estimate 40 indirect jobs in collecting forest biofiber. The plant will consume about 175,000 to 200,000 tons of sawmill plywood products annually. So, does anyone have any questions? And here's my favorite one. This is Rentec. If I can get it up. So Rentec acquires Wawa OSB mill and Atikokan renewable fuels to make pellets. Has anyone heard this? I mean, this is just in our territory. I don't know, does anybody work there? I don't know. Do we have a partnership with these people?
Yes.
We do? Yeah. But, I mean, do we have a partnership to maybe build something on our First Nation with them or do something? I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, and they have stated that they want partnerships with Aboriginal companies. You know, and I look at White River and I look at how well they're doing, and I just hope that we together, we have to work together, we have to do this together, and I'm hoping that together we can find something that everybody agrees with, and we can all work on it together, and we can all prosper and benefit. So we do have the opportunity to partner with Rentec, who stated in the Wawa News they are looking for Aboriginal partnerships. They're currently doing great business with China, and they have a contract for 20 years of wood supply pellets. They have 100 spin-off jobs within our First Nation radius. Horn Payne received $30 million in funding and has created 160 within the wood industry. And we do have access to funding to partner with that Rentec. We can take advantage of this, of all the opportunities available to us. And I know this because I speak from experience. For those of you that don't know me, I, along with the assistance of many great people, started an aviation company to St. Mary Airport. I started with nothing but a dream. Well, mostly my son's dream of flying inspired me to start thinking about securing his future and what I wanted for him, as any parent does. We, EFA, are going on 5 years in business with the assistance of various grants and funding programs available from the provincial government, and still diversifying and growing as we speak in international markets. Currently, EFA is located in Sault Ste. Marie with 2 hangars, various equipment that is utilized for forestry projects, with various other projects currently underway, as well as a mascot created in partnership with the Canadian Bush Plain Heritage Museum. With the expansion of my business into international markets, I'm also expanding my employees, creating permanent, stable employment, and moving into different cities across Canada. And that's a picture of us, my husband and myself, with our mascot Chopper from the Canadian Bush Plain Heritage Museum and our aircraft in the back. And I just have one more slide to show you. That's our home base. We do have 2 hangars at the airport. The other one is across the field, but this is our main one. And my experiences are, I do live on a First Nation. I live on the Batchewana First Nation. I've worked at Michipicoten First Nation for 10 years. As well, I sat on the education committee of the First Nation for 10 years. I've had 2 previous businesses and business experience with financial institutions, financial planning, financial statements, budget, business plans, marketing, sales, and accounting. I have established great working relationships with various government officials, as well as with numerous private investors willing to do business with our First Nation and our members. Imagine private investors wanting to partner with us, wanting to help us achieve economic stability within our First Nation. Our youth, or any member, would have much needed on-reserve employment, not employed at the band office. The band could start having more income that it needs to generate and create other stimulus, such as education, training, workshops for the elders, just to name a few. This could possibly increase our monthly personal cash distributions. Instead of the $1,500 that we get annually, we could also have new houses, new buildings, no longer dependent on the federal government. As your chief, I promise to work hard on your benefit, for your benefit. Not only will I work at getting us more investors, more partnerships, more benefits to the member, I will set up a trust fund for our members, and I will personally donate a percentage of my salary back to our community. This trust will be used for emergencies such as members in need of food, shelter, clothing, education, health, so that no Michipicoten First Nation member ever goes without. I believe that we must help each other first to benefit our First Nation, to make it economically stronger, and make us more competitive in the global market. Michipicoten First Nation's long-term prosperity is threatened by the important business challenges we face, and we can overcome them. But we have to get started now. Miigwech, Shele, Lapham. Questions?